What's going on, guys? Sharpshot here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So for today's video, we're going to be looking at why the DBD community wants to boycott BHVR. If you guys don't know who BHVR is, they are the creators of DBD. Behavior Interactive is the company, and that's just BHVR for short. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what the boycott actually is and why the community actually wants to do the boycott. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give my opinion on the boycott and what I'm going to do in regards to the boycott. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. The community wants to boycott Dead by Daylight for 3 months and basically stop giving real money and putting real money into the game, whether that be buying the base game, whether that be buying DLCs, chapters, or excels, cosmetics, anything that costs real money into the game. The community wants to cut for 3 months so that hypothetically, if every single person in the DBD community partook in this boycott, BHVR and Dead by Daylight would make 0 money in these 3 months. DBD doesn't have any competition in their asymmetrical horror genre, so they haven't had any real concerns about DBD getting knocked off the top spot in that genre. It's led to them getting really comfortable, and BHVR's main source of income is from Dead by Daylight. They haven't made any other really big games like Dead by Daylight, so cutting the revenue for Dead by Daylight would hurt BHVR financially. And the point of this boycott isn't to actually ruin BHVR and Dead by Daylight, it's just to give BHVR a wake-up call and kind of tell them, hey, the community is still here, we have a ton of really good ideas, we want to have our voices heard and have the issues that we've been voicing for a really long time be fixed. That's the whole reason behind the boycott. It's not to ruin BHVR, because we all love DBD and we don't want to see it die, and we don't want to see it fall into a bad path that it's kind of falling into right now. A lot of people in the comments will say that this boycott won't do anything and it'll be too small, but if 25 to 30% of the community partook in this boycott, it would put a big dent in BHVR's cash flow for DBD. It would show them that the community does have the power to make change in this game. So if you want to partake in this boycott, all you have to do is just save your money and just don't spend any money on DBD the next 3 months. This will be for the better and it will help DBD become the best game possible. Alright, so if you aren't convinced that this boycott will work, or you don't know why you should boycott, I'm going to be explaining the main reasons why the community actually wants to boycott in the first place. One of the main reasons is the DLC chapters. The past 3 chapters, A Binding of Kin, All Kill, and Resident Evil, have honestly been pretty disappointing in my opinion. A Binding of Kin, which was the DLC with the twins and Elodie, a lot of people in the community said it was an unfinished mess of a chapter. This chapter's PTB was honestly better optimized than the full release of the DLC itself in the main game. There was a ton of visual issues, there was a ton of glitches, and it just seemed really sloppy and unfinished. All Kill was the second most recent chapter with Yunjin Lee and the Trickster. This was actually pretty hyped up before release. It had a really cool trailer, and they had people from the K-pop community. I think they had someone from BTS themselves help out in creating the DLC. But from the PTB to the release, the Trickster is still by far the worst killer in the game. He was terrible in the PTB, and the community voiced their concern about the Trickster, and on launch he was literally the same. It took them like 2 weeks to actually somewhat buff him, and even then he's still pretty bad. This chapter is honestly remembered as the chapter that fixed Blight and Wraith, Blight's POV, and they buffed Wraith's speed. The fact that the main killer, the Trickster, is overshadowed by simple fixes by Blight's POV that shouldn't have ever been there in the first place is pretty disappointing. Moving on to Resident Evil, which is the current chapter featuring 2 survivors in Leon and Jill, and featuring the killer, the Nemesis. This was a licensed anniversary chapter, meaning that it was an actual partnership in Resident Evil and DBD, and it was the anniversary chapter celebrating the 5th year anniversary of DBD being a game. People would think it'd be really good, right? Not really. When the Resident Evil chapter was released to the main game, it was an absolute disaster. They had to take out the RPD map from the main game to try and fix it. And as I'm recording this on June 27, RPD still isn't in the full game yet. All of the new Resident Evil people that were flocking to DBD won't even be able to play the RPD map. This chapter honestly probably made the Resident Evil fans look at it and say, oh my god, this game is a disaster, and just leave it and never play it again, which is really disappointing for a game that has so much potential. Worst of all, in the new update, the game is so poorly optimized on old gen consoles of Xbox One and PS4 that it's virtually unplayable. Literally experienced so many lag spikes. The game is so slow, it's so laggy. It's just a terrible playing experience. Moving on to the community issues and complaints. The two main complaints are the grind in DBD and the events. The grind will get worse and worse as the chapters go on because more perks get introduced, which means more perks to unlock. As it stands right now, there are 95 survivor perks. Each survivor perk has 3 tiers, which makes a total of 285 perks that you have to buy. Buying all of those in the blood web is just ridiculous. It's going to take so many times. Same thing goes for the killers. It's too much of a grind for the newer players and for the amount of blood points that you get. The events in DBD have been really disappointing and honestly been pretty bland. It's kind of just the same thing over and over with a different theme. For example, the Halloween and the Chinese New Year's events literally just give you event offerings for bonus blood points, and then they touch up the gens and the hooks and give you event items, and then that's it. There's literally nothing else to the events. Having these events be the same, it's pretty boring and repetitive after a very long time. Transitioning over to my opinion and what I'm gonna do, I think something definitely does need to change in DBD for the game to keep growing and to stay alive and have new players flock in and enjoy the game. And I think this boycott will be a great step in the right direction for behavior to finally start listening to the community again. I'm with the community on this one and joining the boycott, and I urge every one of you watching this video to join the boycott as well. Every single person counts, and I'm joining this boycott from a place of love. I truly love DBD and I want to see it succeed and keep growing for many years down the line. The community has had so many good ideas and so many good suggestions for behavior in DBD. This boycott is literally just meant to be a little wake-up call to behavior to finally start listening to the community. If you're a content creator or just want to spread awareness for this boycott by telling your friends on social media, use the hashtag #deadbyboycott. Join the boycott. It's only for 3 months and it's honestly saving you money, so it's a win-win. So yeah guys, that's been the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This has been Sharpshot, and I will see you guys in the next video.